It's the Segabit Swingin' Report Show. Get ready for Sega news and commentary with your hosts, George and Barry. Hello and welcome to Namco Bandai Bit's Swingin' Report Show. I'm Barry and with me is George.
Hello.
And no, actually, this is the Segabit Swingin' Report Show, but we'll be talking a little bit about Project X Zone this week, as well as a lot of little pieces of news. I know I was away for the last show, so I didn't get to talk about some E3 stuff, so I might have my say about that. But first, let's just talk about what we've been playing, George.
Oh, I've been playing actually quite a few games. I've been playing uh Super Meat Boy. I started that game up again because I want to beat it. It's that game's a pain in the ass, that's for sure.
Cool.
It's one of those punishing like it's a punishing game, but it's okay because the levels are so short that you can just
Hmm.
restart them real quick and keep on going at it.
Oh, like Trials Evolution
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
So it's like imagine a platformer game, but they just take the hard bits and that's all you play, not the filler.
Hmm.
So that's basically I'm playing that. I bought a game called Rocard or Richard or whatever how you say it. Uh,
Okay.
it's kind of like a platformer but with physics, and you shoot and you have to solve puzzles, but it's like with a physics gun and like it's a 2D. And the guy kind of looks like Mario. There's obviously a lot of Mario influence in the game with the
Okay.
character. It's actually a pretty damn good game, and like the instrumentals on it are really well done. Like it's a really good. It's good music on it.
Cool.
And I barely started Company Heroes 2 because I'm about to do a review for that.
How do you like it? It's getting really good reviews.
Yeah, it is getting good reviews. It's a good so far it's a good game, but right now I'm in one of those stages where I have to learn stuff, and I'm like, oh, I have to learn stuff. Oh, I hate learning stuff.
Right. You said the
'Cause-
music's great.
oh yeah, the music's great. Yeah, I like the music. So and the voice acting is really. I mean, everything is done. Like there's a certain feel to the game. Like you feel like you really are a commander, and you really are. You know what I mean? Like it feels like a World War II movie, kind of that
Hmm.
epic. But yeah,
That sounds cool.
that's what I've been playing.
Nice. Let's see. I've been playing. I gave in and I got Animal Crossing New Leaf, so I've been playing that.
Oh, I haven't even started that.
Um, yeah, it's funny. I picked it up on release day and I didn't even know it was release day. I just walked in and I saw it and I was like, I have a $5 off coupon. The guy was like, "Oh, you got the last one in the store."
Good
So
for you, and he
good
just
for you.
pats.
Hey, do you want to put a protection thing on? I was like,
Oh
no, leave me.
fuck! I hate when they ask that shit.
I'm like, you know what? I like to hate myself when I ruin a game. I don't want to hate myself for paying $10 to have it protected.
They also oh, I did pick up that game, and I picked up Project X Zone, which we're gonna
Yeah, you
talk
have the two
about.
games I'm playing. Yeah,
Yeah, go for it.
but it's good. I like. I never knew what the Animal Crossing games were all about, but it's just kind of like a really casual kind of like. It reminds me of Harvest Moon,
Yeah, yeah, for
which
sure.
I was really into in high school. I played the PlayStation version where I forgot what it was called. I think it was called like Harvest Moon, A New Beginning, or something like that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. But I like Animal Crossing a little bit more just because it doesn't punish you for like missing a day
Yeah,
so much. Um, but I really like how customizable it is. You can change the name of your town and the flag and the tune. So right now I'm living in Dobuita, and I made the Shenmue theme my sound for everything. So I mean,
nice.
I'm not a Shenmue fan at all. I hate the series, but clearly
Oh, we'll get into that after this.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But so yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, there are days when I'm playing it, I'm like, oh, this is getting kind of boring, and then all of a sudden they introduce a new element to the game. They're like, oh, there's an island you can go to, and I'm like, oh shit. So it's
The game does get boring after a while, but it's one of those games where it's like I don't know, there's some charm to it. I think it's like the weird characters, like
yeah, and
like
I think it's one of those games too where you might get bored with it, but then let's say like a month later it's starting to get winter and you want to get back into it, and I'm guessing it starts snowing and
yeah,
winter holidays start coming up, so it changes.
yeah. And
But
I like the characters. Like they'll say some of the most random, weird shit, and I'm like, okay, why? Like, who wrote this?
yeah, my favorite is Lucha, the little bird that's a luchador.
Yeah.
He's the coolest one. There's also the tiger. I forgot what his name is. Rowan, I think. I like him. And then there's like the goth horse who's like, "Hey, whatever. I know you hate me, but whatever, dude."
I wish Nintendo would make a Zelda game with just like bizarre characters like that. You'll just walk around, like do side missions, and there's bizarre characters. They're like emo kids, and it doesn't make any sense. You're like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, not to get into Shenmue too much, but it kind of reminds me of Shenmue just because you're walking around this town. You're not really, you're just kind of dicking around, talking to people. It's not exactly like Shenmue, but you know what I mean. It's kind of
Oh
got
yeah,
that
of course it's not like Shenmue, but it's like it has that whole like just community feel, I guess, that Shenmue
hmm
had, where you didn't. I understand where you're coming from. It's very casual and more laid back
Well,
game.
I think with the weather changing and with the characters on time schedules, like they'll go to bed and they'll wake up in the morning. That's kind of what it reminds me of. It's just a shame that it doesn't have Nintendo games because I think the older ones had like NES games built into them.
Yeah, but you had to like buy an add-on for it, and it was like an add-on that nobody had, and it
Mm,
was like it wasn't even worth the effort.
no. So yeah, so I'm playing that and also Project X Zone, which do you want to talk about that now?
We could chat about it a little bit right now if you want.
Have you played much at all?
No, not too much. I not no, I haven't actually at all.
No.
I only played the demo, and I was like, oh, I gotta get it.
It's good. I mean, I people are complaining about how it doesn't have as deep of a battle system and it's not super challenging, but I mean, personally,
It's over the top action, dude. That's all I wanted with cameos of my favorite characters.
yeah, I mean, I like it in that sense. I like how you don't have to sit through the enemies fighting you, really. You don't have to go to item shops or rest up. It really just moves along. You go to a place, everyone's like, "Oh, why are we here?" And they talk for a bit and they give you a whole bunch of fan service and then you fight. And there is strategy to it because I mean, you hit the enemies and they like fly up in the air and you have to hit them at the right times and you kind of get into this rhythm where like you'll hit them in the air and then you'll call in a neighboring team. And I got it to this point where there were like five characters on the screen fighting, and it was pretty cool. Um,
It's over. I think it's pretty well done. I think the fan service is really well done, like the dialogue. I think
mhm.
somebody posted. I haven't got to that part obviously, but somebody posted like there's a little joke about Mega Man Legends 3 being canceled,
Yeah,
and it's like
yeah.
that's pretty good. Like I like that kind of stuff.
And I was surprised too. I mean, people were complaining that it didn't have as many recognizable Sega characters, but the Virtua Fighter guys and the Dynamite Cop Bruno, they're pretty. I mean, they're in the game a lot. They have a lot of dialogue, so it's not
And
like Sega's pushed to the side.
yeah, it's pretty, but they're pretty obscure characters. I think a lot of people just wanted like Sonic and or like Vector Man or something that's like. But I've noticed that they try to stray away from cartoonly looking characters. Like they
Yeah.
went for more like people that are human.
hmm And
So
also, it was a game made for Japanese audiences. I mean, kind of like Sega Gaga. I mean, we never got that. You look at that game, and sure, there are references to more recognizable brands, but a lot of it's like really obscure stuff that I don't think Americans would pick up on. So they never made the game with Americans in mind. So it makes sense that we wouldn't see those things. Plus, I don't really want Sonic in the game just because, like you said, it's a lot of humans. So it'd be kind of strange to have all these guys and all of a sudden Sonic's there and he's like, "Hey,
hey,
Knuckles, he stole the emerald again." Oh.
oh guys, god damn it! And I don't know. I don't think Sega wants to see Sonic in like. I don't know. I'm surprised he wasn't on it. But then now that I think about it, like the whole character casting, he would just
Yeah.
not. He would just stick out. Like it's like having Pac-Man next. He's like walking.
Yeah.
He's like waka 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 waka. He's like
It
okay.
might it might break some brand rules too, and we could probably ask Aaron this, but Sonic fighting humans, and like killing them, that might be something that they just don't want for the brand.
Yeah, most likely. Um,
Plus with all the boobs too. I mean Sonic and all those humans with boobs.
Sonic loves boobs. I'm sure he does.
I know he does.
Just not publicly. He
Yeah,
in
definitely.
private. Go ahead and
Privately.
go ahead and
But
suck some boobs. Who cares?
I'm enjoying it. It actually makes me want to get into a lot of the games. Like, I like the scene with the Dead Rising guy, Frank West, talking to Bruno, Dynamite Cop, and
You
they
posted on
had like,
Instagram, didn't you?
yeah, and they know each other professionally, so they're like, oh, hey, I heard about you in that cruise ship, and then he's like, yeah, well, I really like your work on that story. I read it. It's great. It's like
And
they're
see
like
that
getting along.
that's the kind of stuff I like because like if you think about it, a lot of that stuff is very obscure. Like how many people are gonna know about the fucking of Dynamite Cop?
But the funny thing is too, Dead Rising really is took a lot from Dynamite Cop in the sense that you're just running around using anything as a weapon in the
Yeah,
stage.
yeah. So it's pretty cool that they like pair that up
Yeah.
for dialogue. That's pretty cool.
And the attacks are great too. I like Bruno's special is I forgot what it's called, but it's like he uses the golden axe and then he takes out Pepper and starts shaking it on them and then he hits them with the grandfather clock and then like he's like, "Oh, I have to get out of here." And then like the stage explodes and he
That's.
starts like crying. He does like these manly tears and his shirt is all ripped up.
I think Kazuma would have been a pretty good one to have on there, but
Yeah, I wanted to mention that too. I think Power Stone characters would have been great. It's a shame they didn't make it in.
yeah. You could tell the game's very low budget though, right? When you look at it, you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
shit, this is low budget as hell. But I'm surprised it was good. I thought it was gonna be crap. I think I wrote a lot of articles and I was like, don't worry about it coming west. The last one was crap. So,
Yeah.
because they did another one before with just Namco and Capcom.
Hmm.
This one that added Sega, which made
Yeah.
us interested in it, obviously.
But
Um,
yeah, it's I mean it's not like a AAA title. Like, everyone's giving it like 8 out of 10s and Bs, and I think it's one of those games where it's like a solid B, and it kind of like we bring it up a lot, Viking. It's like one of
yeah,
those games where it's not perfect, but it's a lot of fun.
yeah. And if you want to, I mean, if you're a fan, the fan service is there. It's worth picking up just for that, most likely.
Oh yeah, I'm playing to get to Ooh La La. I'm looking forward to that.
And oh, the other game I was playing, it has a Sega reference. I've been playing the demo. The game's supposed to come out today. It's an indie game for
What
PC.
is it?
It's called Rogue Legacy. Okay, I played the
Hmm.
demo and I was like, I need this game. Basically, the point of the game is it's a 2D like a Rogue. They call it Rogue Light, but it's basically a Rogue game, and it plays
Hmm.
kind of like Castlevania. So you go in and you hit things, and like Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Hmm.
So you're exploring this dungeon and trying to fight a boss, but the problem is you'll never beat it. Like you have to level up. And the way you level up is you go in there and you get money, and then you
Hmm.
die, and then you have to pick your legacy. So you have to pick your child, and then it shows you the traits.
Oh,
Like
that's
there,
funny.
so you'll have like baldness. This one's gay, or like this one's can't see color. He's colorblind. So if you pick
Yeah.
the colorblind kid, the whole game is black and white until he dies, and then you pick your next child, and you basically have to like level up your castle and get blueprints and like pass on your legacy to the next one. So
Right.
like, and one of them, there's a Sega reference. One of them has hedgehog disease or whatever they call it or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically, every time you get hit, all your coins fall.
That's funny.
So I was like, oh, I need to get
Shinobi too. I'm looking at the trailer right now on mute.
on. Oh, the trailer.
There's a Shinobi trait too.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, but yeah, it's a pretty interesting game. Uh,
That's so weird. That's kind of cool.
yeah, I thought it was a really interesting game, and I want to have it, but apparently I can't buy it on Steam. It's not there. Apparently, it was part of a humble bundle, and I guess
Hmm.
I should have bought it. It was probably like $7 with three other games. But
Right.
yeah, it looks pretty cool, and
That's cool.
the demo is pretty awesome. So if you, I guess people could Google it and download the demo, and that's all I've been playing.
Nice. So I mean, it's a slow news week, but we've been playing a lot, which is rare.
Yeah, it's very rare.
Usually I'm like, I've been playing Sonic Dash. What have you been playing? Not much. I've been busy.
Yeah, so I've been playing. I've been trying to play through my Steam library of games. So I'll probably be talking about more of those kind of type of indie games.
Very cool. So
And
let's get into, oh, what do you want to, what are
no,
you
no,
going to
no,
say?
that's it. I was gonna say we should get on to the next thing, but yeah.
Yeah, let's get into Segabits news. So, let's see. Oh yeah, I went to the Too Many Games Expo in Oaks, PA, about 2 weeks back, maybe 2.5. And I didn't really like. I got press passes, but to be honest, there wasn't too much there to report on, but I did get to meet Nathan Barnett, which he plays Keith Apicary, and he was Keith Apicary that day. So I met Keith Apicary, and yeah, he's a really cool guy. I
Was
mean,
he in character? Was he in character the whole time?
he was in character the whole time. It was pretty
Damn.
funny,
I think he
but
just lives that character. I think now.
I've seen videos where it almost appears like he goes on 3-day events, like to E3, and he was Keith for the airplane ride, and like
I,
it's funny stuff. But I mean, I saw him there, and I had my friend with me who had my camera, which also does video. So I said, "Hey, can you set it to record, and I'll go ask if he wants to do a video." And I went over there, and he's a really nice guy, really approachable. Um, I came up and I was like, "Hi." No, I was like, "Hey, I'm Barry from Segabits," and it was great because he actually recognizes us from the Instagram. So
oh
if anyone ever
yes.
says, "What is Instagram good for?" There's your answer. It's good for meeting people.
I,
So
I just started it when it started up because I was like, it could be interesting.
yeah,
And I think it's a pretty little fun little thing we do on the side.
oh definitely.
It's easy to
And
run,
yeah,
and people like it. It seems.
yeah, definitely.
But
So yeah, he recognized me from that, and we had a little small talk, and then he was signing some autographs. And when he came back, I asked him if he'd do the video. So yeah, I put that up on YouTube, and after the video, he signed my DVD that I picked up of his, and he told me to go over to his show, which was in an hour. So he did a music show, and
I didn't even know he did music. I was looking at it. I was like, why? I'm like, why do you do music? Like, I guess why not? Kind of a thing.
well, they're parody tunes. He actually reached out to this, and I don't know the guy's name, so I'll maybe we can add it to the show notes, or I'll tweet it or whatever. But he's like a chip tune artist from Europe who does these beats for him, and then he writes songs about like retro games and performs them. So if you
He has
check
a
out the
he has a Dreamcast music video though, right? With
yeah, he has this really good Neo Geo music video, and on his DVD, he did the behind the scenes. It's pretty ingenious how they did it. He like had this cabinet that he put on this rig with the camera, and they filmed it going around, and then they intercut so it looked like the cabinet was moving throughout the city, but it was a single shot with the cabinet there.
yeah,
It was kind of cool, and they green screened the footage on it, so the footage on the game never changed, even though the background did. It was pretty cool.
nice.
So, so yeah, that was the highlight of my visit to that meeting Keith Apicary. So, so
So
that's
that
that.
so how was the rest of the event?
Oh, it was pretty good. I was actually expecting a lot more used games. I took $80 out, and by the end of it, I only spent 40. And even then, I was kind of buying things that I didn't really want, but I didn't. I figured I wouldn't be able to find them anywhere else. I got a Dreamcast Japanese keyboard, and for $1, a Dreamcast web browser, and a few portable games. Crazy Taxi for Game Boy Advance, and what was it? Legend of Illusion or something for Game Gear. One of the Illusion games. So, but yeah, I was. It's tough being a Sega fan going to these things because really it's all about either they'll have stuff from the last generation, lots of PlayStation 2 and Xbox games, or they'll have a bunch of Nintendo stuff. But when it comes to like Saturn or Dreamcast, they don't. It depends on the dealer, but for the most part, they don't have that much.
Yeah,
So
I could see why, but it is tough being a Sega fan for that kind of stuff because you wanna you're like they're gonna have Saga there. I know it, man. I'm gonna pick it up, and you
yeah,
get there and it's like, oh, dude, they have like Sonic One, like box copy. Everybody has that goddamn game.
yeah, I think I've reached that point, at least with Dreamcast, where I have all the games I really want, and any of the ones that I don't have are so hard to find that I'm just not going to find them in a bin anymore. It's going to be on like an eBay auction for $50.
Like my brother, I don't know why this happened, but he was talking to me the other day about how he wants to collect Dreamcast games. I have no idea. I guess it runs in the blood now.
Yeah,
And he's like, I want Skies of Arcadia. I want it. And my copy is already all screwed up. Like I used to play the crap out of that game. So
right.
he's like looking for it on eBay, and he's like, damn it, dude, it's going for like 35 up. Like it's not that bad,
That's
35
not
up.
bad.
That's not that bad. He's all saying he keeps on getting outbidded, and I'm just like, honestly, if you really just want to play it, just download the damn game. It's like Sega's not making money off of it anymore, unless you
Yeah,
really
yeah.
want the freaking copy.
Unless you're a collector
Yeah,
or you're skittish about ruining your laser with burned discs. But yeah, it's but the big thing I wanted to get was a master system, and it sucked because every dealer I went to, they were like, "Oh, we sold it." And I was like, "Can I ask how much?" And they're like, $30. I was like, "God damn it." I went to this one stand and the guy's like, "Yes, we have it." And I'm like, "Yes, how much?" And he's like, 75. I'm like, "Come on."
75. No, it's like
And
gone.
no, and the same guy, he also for $250, he had the Dreamcast karaoke unit, which probably 4 years ago, that thing was maybe $40 on eBay because it doesn't do a thing. It doesn't do anything now.
Yeah,
So, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the one I've had overpricing before. Like when a while back, I went to the like a flea market, and they had some guy had a Japanese Sega Saturn
Hmm.
with like 15 Sega Saturn games, like
Yeah,
Japanese ones.
yeah,
And he wanted like $400 for the whole thing. And
yeah,
I was like, no, no, that's not gonna happen. So I just bought a few of his games, which he sold them he sold them to me for like he wanted $10, and I got him down to $5 each. So I got
yeah.
3 games, and it was like I can't even freaking play them anyway. So it was an anime game from Blue Seed. I think it used to be an anime.
Hmm.
Shinobi, the Shinobi game, but the Japanese version.
Right.
It had a different name over there. I think it was like Shinobi X. And
Hmm.
one of the Shining games, like the one that's kind of like a Zelda-ish game, I guess.
Okay.
The Ark one, I don't even know what it's called,
Shining
but
Arc.
yeah,
Shining of the Holy Arc.
yeah, that's the one. So
Yeah.
it's like not really games well, besides the Shinobi one, I guess.
Right.
I can't really play because there's text, but it was pretty. I still just wanted him to have them because sometimes I just want Sega stuff.
Yeah, after the show though, I was kind of itching to get something, so I actually went the next week I went to the retro game store that's in my area and I probably found better he has more stuff there that I actually wanted than at the convention itself.
But the
But
convention was at least fun to go to, no?
oh yeah, the convention was great. There was a lot of panels. I wanted to go to the Angry Video Game Nerd panel, but that was too late. I had to get going. But no, the convention was well worth it, and it was great looking around and seeing all the stuff. The I didn't learn till later that Hardcore Gaming 101 was there, the guys who did that Sega arcade history book.
Oh yeah,
Because I saw this dealer with a stack of them. I figured he was just selling them. Turns out it was like the head of the site. And
that would
with
have been
our
that would have been a pretty cool video thing.
yeah, and with considering our Sega Retro connection and the fact that he actually used um, assets from Sega Retro, he kind of owes us, right?
Yeah, get at least a little camera time.
Yeah, yeah, but no, I went to my local game store and I got some cool stuff. I got some Sega CD games and things like that. But yeah, and I guess to get off this, last thing I'll say is that, like I was telling you, I fixed my Sega CD, so that was the big thing to happen to me. And I didn't do a goddamn thing except for switching the power cables for the Sega CD and for the Genesis.
Isn't that how IT works though? You just like switch
If
power cables and
It's
you're like
such
it works.
bullshit because everywhere online, everyone's saying, "Oh yeah, Genesis and Sega CD use the same power cable." They don't. It's like they're 1 volt difference, and I believe the Genesis can use the Sega CD one, but the Sega CD can't use the Genesis one because Sega CD needs 10 volts and the Genesis one's 9 volts. It's I don't know. It
Uh,
just pissed me off.
don't worry. There's going to be a 2,500 word article on the site about it.
Oh, I'm gonna write it tomorrow. Yeah.
It's going to be the frustration of power cables.
It's gonna be a Monday Memories next week. I'll be like, remember when I was pissed off last week
I
about the power
remember
cables?
great memories.
I'll get one comment and it'll be like, where's Sonic?
They'd probably be like, Sega only had 5 games at E3. They're going broke. That's the comment. Talking about comments, we should
Yes.
probably talk about Shampoo 3?
Yes, it's this new shampoo I use on my no, yeah, we'll talk about this real quick. Where
Just
should
get
I begin?
well. Let's begin. Okay, we wrote an article two. You wrote an article 2 years ago,
2.5 years ago.
and it was stuff that Sega fans. This is probably when the site was like 6 months old, most likely,
Yeah.
and it's like it was uh it was probably one of your first articles on with us, probably too, and it was
Yeah,
stuff that
yeah.
Sega fans shouldn't do.
It was an opinion piece of things that annoyed me, things that Sega fans did that annoyed me. And so they were things that I thought, that's the key word, I thought Sega fans should stop doing. And if you actually look at the article, nearly every comment at the time were people agreeing with me. And even Scarred Son, who is the head of Sonic Retro, came over and was like, "Yup, pretty much this," you know.
And
But that's not what she sounds like, by the way.
no, I
But
don't think she's. I don't.
yeah,
Actually, no, we have talked to her. I don't remember. Like, I you sound like a smoker right now. That's what I'm
I
saying. I don't think
know.
she smokes.
Don't worry, I do that voice for everyone. But no, but I mean, I think I made a lot of really obvious, valid ones, like asking Sega to put Capcom games out on like Xbox Live, like Power Stone, and what was another one?
Well, the most popular one,
But yeah,
Shenmue fans not whining about Shenmue 3 like in random posts on Facebook. Like, imagine you're a developer, okay, and you're working really hard on this game.
yeah,
And then you're like, hey, check out. He's like, Sega's finally posted about your game. First comment, give us Shenmue 3, you bastards. I don't want this shit.
yeah,
It's a little
and
fucking. It's a little. It's come on.
I think it's disrespectful, and I also think it doesn't add a damn thing to the conversation. Now, I totally get that, in the internet age, you can write whatever the fuck you want, and most of the time there's no consequences. So if you're on YouTube and you see a video, oh, this fucking sucks, that guy looks fat, or and I mean, I'm not saying, I mean, I can't stop anyone from doing it. If they keep doing it, they can keep doing it. I'm just saying I personally think it's stupid and that I think people should stop doing it, or
But
at least if you do it, assess it, like assess yourself and be like, all right, so if Sega's making a Facebook post about a game unrelated to Shenmue, which there are a lot of them nowadays, and to be honest, a lot of them are actually really good. Some of them are not very good, but in that case, just ignore them. But I mean, when it comes down to it, when Sega of America, Sega West, key emphasis on that, are talking about games that they are publishing or developing, like Three Rings, for example, asking for Shenmue on that thing doesn't do anything. The community manager who puts that up sees that it doesn't affect him. It's like white noise at this point. It's not like
yeah,
he's going to go, oh God, hey, get Sega of Japan on the phone. We got another
get
one.
get Yu Suzuki on the phone. There's 5 comments on this goddamn post. This
So
is
that was my main complaint because I just think it's spam. And it's like, if I completely agree in wanting Shenmue 3, I really want it too, but I know for a fact that that sort of method doesn't do anything. It just annoys people, especially people like, you or I or tons of other fans who like see a screenshot for a new game coming out that they really want to play, like even a really great one, like let's say one of the Yakuza titles, and people go, "Oh fuck this, I want Shenmue 3." I got to
yeah.
question if they even played a Sega game in the past 10 years,
They probably
you know?
haven't, but it's like I also hate it when they compare it to Shinmu. It's like you got to think
Yeah.
about it. I can see why they would think it's like it because of the mini games. That
Hmm.
thing, but Yakuza is, to me has always been a big version of like a 3D Streets of Rage. You go around, you beat people. It's like RPG mixed with like it's like a mixture of genres to me. It's like it has those mini games on the side. It has like
Hmm.
that soap opera, manly soap opera storyline that's
Oh
like,
yeah, definitely.
and then it has it's over the top. It has the beat 'em up like Streets of Rage, and it
Yeah.
has the open world, but it's not really open world. It feels more like an RPG world where you randomly
Yeah.
fight people.
But
It's
I
not
gotta
like
say
it's not like
it's
Shinmu.
it's it's a successful franchise, unlike Shenmue, unfortunately, at least monetarily.
And this is
So,
well, there's a lot of reasons why Shinmu did not. It did sell more, most
true.
likely the first one.
Yeah.
But you got to think about it. Okay, this is getting on to the next thing about their what they want.
Well, let's
So let's not go there yet. But so
but I'm gonna one other point I wanted to make too Now, Sega will make a post about an iOS title that they're publishing. Now, to be fair, some of the iOS games I'm not really into. Some of them I actually am. But again, when they're like, "Oh, hey, like Puzzle Quest is coming out." I don't think that's a real game, but they're like, "Hey, Puzzle Quest is coming out." And people go, "Oh, why aren't you making Shenmue 3?" It's not one to one at all. It's
Yeah,
a
it's like
iOS title that they're publishing compared to a multi-million dollar game for consoles. Now, the other argument is, oh, well, then when they talk about multi-million dollar game for consoles, I'm going to complain about Shenmue 3. But the question is, why are you asking to take away one potentially great game, like let's say Binary Domain or any of the recent Sonic games, in favor of Shenmue 3? Why would Sega dump development of a proven franchise and pick up Shenmue 3? In the perfect world, they would be making the games that we love right now. They would be focusing less on games like Aliens Colonial Marines and at least quality wise, because I'd love to see the Aliens game coming out from Creative Assembly, and we would get Shenmue 3. See, that's the perfect world. So I don't understand shitting on other franchises in favor of Shenmue 3. I always loved Sega when they have a lot to give us.
yeah, like if they're gonna put all their eggs in one basket and it's gonna be a Shimmy 3 basket. I
Hmm.
mean, if they really want to do that, I want to play Shinmu 3, so I would be more than happy, but it's not going to happen, and you whining about it on post isn't going to make it any better.
So yeah, so that was the main thing of that 2.5-year-old article was me saying I found it annoying when people talked about games that Sega clearly were not going to. I shouldn't say that. That's not true because I really think that there's a chance that they could make Shenmue 3. But what I'm saying is it doesn't help the situation at all in any case. So and it's annoying. So anyway, I guess they dug that up and they thought that it somehow spoke against their campaign. Um, and the second thing that they dug up was a roundtable concerning Shenmue 3 and how we wanted to see the game made. Um, I know
Or
in
yeah, no, it was our concerns about the whole giving the license. It's like I think
yeah.
the whole idea of the article was more that we wanted more clarity before we stood behind a message,
Hmm.
and
And also, this was at the time when Yu Suzuki had just said, hey, if they gave me the license, maybe I could make it. And
and
this was us responding
Mark
to,
Kearney and him were hanging out, I guess, talking
no, this
about it.
was even before that, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
But this was just in response to that idea. It wasn't in response to a specific Twitter campaign or anything like that. I was basically just referring to this idea of campaigning for it as the de facto way to make Shenmue 3. That's what I not so much disagreed with at the time, but what I put into question because, like I brought up, if you develop a Shenmue game outside of Sega without the brand attached to them, doesn't it lose a lot of the charm that we loved from it? A lot of the key team members wouldn't be working on it. A lot of the references to classic Sega titles wouldn't be in it. The other question was if you give Yu Suzuki the license, which is something I don't think Sega does. They don't give the licenses even to old franchises just away because they could always use them in the future. I think it's a stupid business move. It's great for the fans who really just want them to have it, but
Think about it this
as
way.
as an
You
executive, you're not going to go, "Hey, let's give Sonic to Yuji Naka
Yeah, or even if
or
you
Billy Hatcher. Let's give Billy Hatcher to Yuji Naka. We haven't made a Billy
why?
Hatcher
Yeah, but
game."
why would you do that? Like, why am I going to give you something for free that we spend money on? Like, that doesn't make any
Exactly.
sense. Like, that's not
He
how.
he was an employee as much as Shenmue is his idea. He was an employee of Sega at the time. A lot of Sega's time and money and employees' efforts were put into the franchise. And so to just, pluck that idea out of the Sega pond, give it to him, I mean, clearly, I mean, I'm sure Yu Suzuki has money, but I don't think he's going to actively buy it from Sega. And at the same token, I don't think Sega is going to actively just give it to him as a gift.
I mean, if it happens, it happens. But if you think about it in the long run, like Sega's been adding little bit of Ryu and stuff like
Yeah.
All Star Racing. You think you wouldn't be able to do that kind of stuff anymore? And I'm
Yeah, and
sure.
it
And
kind of shoots themselves in the foot, even if they're not planning to make a third game in the near future. It shoots themselves in the foot for licensing, which makes a fair amount of money. I mean, people be surprised. You look at Star Wars, and the big win for George Lucas was retaining merchandising rights on the franchise.
Yeah.
So to give that up, I mean, you can say, I wouldn't say you could say goodbye to the statues or the hooded sweatshirts, but you would definitely not see Sega pursuing those sorts of things because they don't own the license. And I can't see Yu Suzuki actively being like, hey, I want to make some Shenmue hats, you know?
Yeah, and you got to think about it too. You're giving it to. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, Yu Suzuki.
Hmm.
He's one of my favorite developers in Sega. I think he's very underrated. Actually, I was actually ranting on about today about how there was a there was a stupid thread on NeoGAF about how I guess Mark Kearney said on Sony that they wanted to have the Nintendo legacy, and they were
Yeah.
saying like PlayStation will never have the Nintendo legacy because I mean they've been around for 20 years. There's people that are nostalgic about the old PlayStation brand. I think the problem with PlayStation is they don't have solid enough first party franchises
Hmm.
compared to Nintendo.
Oh, definitely not.
So, but they were calling Miyamoto the god of gaming or like the father of gaming, and it's like,
Didn't he say that Yu Suzuki is the father of gaming and he is the mother of gaming?
yeah. So leave
I
it
think he
alone.
said,
Yeah, he did say that, but like I think he in certain genres he obviously heavily influenced. I'm saying like platformers, side-scrolling platformers, huge
hmm,
influence, obviously. But Yu
right.
Suzuki, he pretty much created 3D fighting games. He did
Hmm.
the racing games. I
Art,
mean,
so many arcade innovations,
so many.
architecturally and technically.
Yeah, he popularized QTEs. No, I said popularized. They've been around before, but he pretty much put them in the mainstream. Like after Shenmue came out, like people took that and they used it in almost every game, like
Yeah,
all the big games. And
yeah,
I think some people now find it kind of annoying. Like I said, Rise I think was criticized by hardcore gamers, but then they turned around and wanted Shenmue 3, which so it shows you that you have to use it in the right context. You know what I mean? Use it
yeah,
correctly. And
yeah.
so he's done a lot of innovative, but like right now he has a studio, and the studio's only done a mobile game, and that mobile game was free,
Hmm.
and it didn't get updated. I mean, I haven't heard any updates about it, so I'm assuming
No,
there wasn't much demand for it.
I believe it closed. The Shenmue
Yes,
mobile game, yep, it ended.
yeah.
But
So I mean,
yeah, going,
it's hard
no,
for
go on.
Sega to like say, oh, let's get $80 million and make a new engine and fucking start freaking updating all the textures and put it on PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah. So, I mean, going to that, back to that mention of when we were talking about that, the concept of giving him the license, basically, I believe that it isn't a black and white sort of simple situation. It's something that, like, as we've just shown, can be discussed, and there are positives, but there are also negatives. And I mean, personally, my opinion is I think the negatives outweigh the positives in the concept. And so, I mean, that was my second point. Again, these are my opinions.
Yes,
So,
opinions.
so when these things were being dug up, they started to point the finger at me, saying, "Well, you're against our campaign. Segabits as a whole does not support the give you the Suzuki the license campaign." Which,
I
number one, we've never said we don't support it. In fact, I don't even think we've mentioned the Shenmue 500K group in any articles. I don't even think we've mentioned, aside from that one opinion piece where we were talking about the give you the Suzuki the license in its early phases of when it was just an idea being thrown around on Twitter, that I was just questioning it. I wasn't against it. And so if anyone ever thinks that the Segabit site is against the campaign or we're trying to like block it or stop it, that's just not true. And if anyone points to my opinions and say that, well, there's your proof right there, they're my opinions. I don't own the site. I might be an administrator and I might write a lot for it, but we've got other people there who surely have different opinions than me.
and I just think of it like Shinmu to us is like a baby.
Yeah.
You just don't give it away. Like, come on, man.
As much as I love Yu Suzuki, I think Sega also was a part of the reason why the game was so great.
It was basic. I would consider that to be the most Sega game. Like they had so many developers working on it. Some huge names for Sega.
Hmm.
They all put their touches on it, and it's you can't just give it a one person. It's like
Yeah, I mean, if I want to use an example to use Star Wars again, it's like saying give George Lucas Star Wars and take it out of Lucasfilm, but then you're taking away Industrial Light and Magic, you're taking away Skywalker Sound, you're taking away the sound designer, the composer. These are all big name people who really, put their mark on the franchise, even if they weren't the ones to create it. So just like with Shenmue, there are a lot of behind the scenes people that we just don't typically name names of who were just as influential as Yu Suzuki, if not more so in some areas. And so, I mean, if you take it out of Sega and you expect all of the good aspects from Sega to follow it and assist Yu Suzuki in some, you know, outside of Sega development, I don't think that really makes sense. And I think also a lot of the people they might I don't even know if they're alive anymore. But anyway,
they're all
so
dead.
they're all dead.
Yu
But
Suzuki's
no,
been
but
killing them and having his revenge.
so those were the main things that brought that up. But I finally I went online and I talked to them, and it seems like things are all cool now. I tweeted their hashtag as a sign of respect. But
Respect.
I should note too that, and you brought this up, and I think it's fair to bring up on this, is that there's this whole idea of we need to take revenge. They took Shenmue away from us. We need our revenge. We need Shenmue 3. But I've never seen the franchise as being about revenge.
No,
I mean, surely
Shin.
he's on a quest for revenge, but as it's evidenced in the dialogue and in the story and all these aspects, that's he's going about it the wrong way. And in the end, it's not pointing towards revenge. This isn't Kill Bill where it's like I gotta kill Lon D and he's gonna kill Lon D. It's more like, well, here you take it. You have your opinion on this.
Um, a lot of the scenes in Shinmu, especially in the second game when he goes to China and he starts training, it's more about letting go of revenge, and I think that's what the part of the game that kind of spoke to me because usually when you play a video game, it's not really they don't really talk about that kind of stuff, like this guy killed your father, go kill him, it's like in most video games, especially in Western games,
Hmm.
you kill all these freaking people. Like you go in Uncharted and you shoot all these people, they all die. They don't talk about repercussions. They don't talk about them coming back and like the cycle of like violence just going over and
Hmm.
over again. And Shenmue like was one of the games where I was like, really, I haven't really killed anybody really, and
No.
like revenge. And then she talks about I think that when you're doing the flower or the pink thing, that was like a really like big scene to me. Like
Yeah.
when she talks about like revenge is just a cycle and then when you find out more about Landi and how he's having revenge for his father, you're starting the
Hmm.
cycle too. And I think it's really deep, and I think that's why I like Shinmu personally. And I don't understand these like we got to kill Landi Shinmu fans. It kind of upsets me a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like not what the message of the game was.
Yeah. It's like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
He went there and his in the end he threw down his lightsaber because he didn't want to kill his father. He didn't want to take revenge.
because
I
revenge leads to the dark side.
I mean, I think in the future we'll have hopefully get one of the Shenmue Dojo administrators on, maybe one of the people from the campaign. But that's one of the things I really want to talk about is both the direction the series was heading, with the hints leading towards 3, especially story wise and theme wise. And I also just want to talk about, and just to finish this up, the most recent article I made where I threw out the question, and I didn't get as many answers as I'd hoped, but maybe that says something. Where I asked what are positive and effective ways to ask for Shenmue 3.
I think
You got a
Sharky.
good. Oh,
Oh, I was gonna say Sharky had
oh,
a
go
pretty
on.
good idea. Like, I think he wanted for a while when we started Sega Bits and we weren't even popular. He wanted to
Hmm.
start a shit. I think he mentioned this on those guys' comments, but
Hmm.
he hosted it on my server, and it was basically Shinmu campaign. .com I think he got the URL, and it was he wanted people to send him like handwritten letters about what Shenmue meant to them and why they wanted a sequel kind of thing, or they wanted to
Hmm.
finish it. And
Hmm.
then he was going to bag it all up and ship it to like Sega Japan
Hmm.
as a like look at all these people still remember this game like.
Hmm.
And I thought that would be better than spamming Sega's
That
Facebook.
I think, well, yeah, I mean, definitely that, and also as much as, technology has advanced, probably even since then, I think that speaks much more to Sega than a hashtag. Sega's not going to click a hashtag and go, "Oh my God, look how many times people retweeted that."
Oh,
But
these must be all unique people too.
now,
Like,
not to say that those campaigns don't work,
no, I'm not saying they
they
don't.
do, but I think that sort of idea where and especially, I mean, who are the decision makers? That's something to ask too, because I don't think the Sega of America community team are the people to ask. That's not their job. They don't. Sega of America didn't develop Shenmue. Sega of
Yeah,
America didn't conceive Shenmue. At most, Sega of America localized Shenmue, did advertising here, probably worked a bit, but
they did
it's
pretty
it's
bad
definitely,
localizing though. Like the
yeah,
voicing
yeah.
is pretty.
But I mean, Yu Suzuki was involved in the localization too, I should say. But no, it's really, I think the target should be Sega of Japan, and I think the best way to get their attention is to physically send them things. I mean, there are a lot of people who work there in Japan who worked on the original Shenmue games. So even if some high level executive gets it and goes, "Oh, hey, we got the Shenmue shit. I don't want to read it." I think it definitely would make the rounds, unlike a hashtag. Uh, I think a physical mailing is much more of a, 10,000 tweets still look like one tweet. It's not, there's no weight to it. But if you send 10,000 letters, or I guess 500,000, since that's the goal that they're looking for, letters, that really, I think, gets people's attention. So that's
Yeah,
my say on it. I think, but I'd like to talk more about it, and I don't want to be branded some sort of like hater, because I'm definitely a fan of the franchise, and I definitely want a third one. I'm just not in complete agreement of certain methods, but
and,
that's not to say I'm against the whole idea or
and
the
the
whole campaign.
I think the idea of the Kickstarter, I think to me, as far as Kickstarter goes, it's a little ridiculous because you can't fund a 20+ million game on
No.
Kickstarter. Like I think the most I've seen was a couple million.
Hmm.
And so I mean I would love to see use Suzuki's team he has, the I don't know what they're called, U team. Uh,
Team U,
is it what they're called? Um,
Team U, maybe I think.
him or even Naka's team. What is it, Pro P or Pro Pay or whatever? They should use
Hmm.
Kickstarter to do small PSN/Xbox Live Arcade titles. Like, I mean, a little racer or a little something because I think publishers are screwing both of them over, in my opinion. So
Hmm.
I think that they should be doing that. I mean, Shenmue 3, that's a pretty big budget. I mean, if people like their games on PSN, I think publishers will see them. Because I mean, didn't Naka have a game that never came out on the Wii?
He did he?
Yeah,
Yes, yes, it was Rodea the Sky Warrior.
and that game looked awesome.
And it was actually made for 3DS too, which confuses me. I mean, Wii games aren't being made anymore, but 3DS.
They could upscale. They could just port it to the Wii U and make it a
Make it a digital title.
yeah. But I think they're getting screwed over, and I wish they're independent. They could just do it themselves. I mean, with cloud funding, I think Yu Suzuki and Naka would get. I mean, especially Yuji Naka. I mean, that guy has like a weird fan base that like wants to have his babies.
Yeah.
So he'll get the money.
Yeah.
We should probably move on to the news, or we're going to be here all night.
Yeah, yeah. Let's run through the news real quick. Anyway, oh, Yu Suzuki turned 55 on
And
June 10th,
the
and Sonic turned 22 on June 23rd.
they sh-
That's the news. All right, moving on. What do you want to say about that? Yu
oh, I was gonna
Suzuki's
say,
getting older, and so is Sonic.
we've been talking about him so much already, and I was like, happy birthday. That's it.
Happy birthday, guys.
They're getting drunk
So,
together. So
yeah. That makes me wonder. I should check my Shenmue manual to see, or my guide to see if anyone has a June 10th birthday. I'll bet they do for
I'm
all the
sure.
people in the town.
I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think Ryo Hazuki's birthday is the day after mine. I think, wasn't his father murdered on his birthday?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
Here, you do the next news thing. I want to look
Uh,
this up.
Bayonetta 2 will have touch control option, which sounds pretty mainstream to me, and
Hmm.
two-player mode. I don't really care. I mean, they haven't really talked about the two-player mode, or I haven't really looked up information on it. But
Hmm.
honestly, if it's optional, I don't give a shit. Like touch control, whatever. I don't give a fuck. As long as the game plays awesome regularly, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna play it because I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I guess it's just kind of
Optional stuff.
optional stuff. They're just trying to take advantage of the gamepad, which, to be fair, to be honest, I don't think it's the most amazing piece of tech, but they're trying what they can. Anyway, Ryo Hazuki, he was born on November 29th, and the game starts on November 29th, where his father's murdered. So his dad was murdered on his birthday.
Oh man, that's some cold-blooded shit.
That's why he's pissed off. Anyway, so
He's
yeah,
like,
that's
"Where's
his
my
dad.
goddamn birthday Oh, my dad's death. Thank you, Landy. This is what you gave me for my birthday."
Oh boy,
Marza Animation Planet's next movie will be called Robo Dog.
too cute, bro.
And that's what I that's what I put in the show notes, by the way. Um, I
Yeah, I
don't.
guess.
It's supposed to be a family friendly film, I guess. I think they have some of the people that like did TMNT, the CGI one. I when I saw it, I liked it, but now a bunch of people complain about it, so I probably hate it now.
Story's boring, but animation's good.
I think that's probably what I liked. I think I think when I heard it announced, I was thinking like, oh great, another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I bet it's gonna be worse than Part 3.
Yeah,
So
it was better than part three,
yeah, for sure, 3 was
at
terrible.
least.
Crimson Dragon creator wants to make Crimson Dragon RPG, and the reason I'm so excited is because it's gonna be kind of like a spiritual successor to Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Yeah, I mean, as much shit as people give the Xbox One, I would really like Crimson Dragon to at least sell well. So
I would like it to sell well too, but I mean, we had Knuckles, and I don't know if you listened to the show with Shigs and Knuckles,
they
but
played it, they didn't like it, did they?
their main complaint was that it's too slow compared to
Hmm.
Panzer Dragoon, and I
Yeah,
and I hope if it is too slow, I hope it's not too slow. I hope if it is too slow, they kind of like. Well, they say if you play with the controller, it's too slow. But if you play with Kinect, I mean, they didn't have Kinect playing there because it's obviously kind of hard to show it in the showroom floor.
right.
But they said that it might play better because you have more time to react and it's motion controlled. But I,
Right.
I hope they speed it up at least for the control. Like they're smart enough. Like okay, let's just speed it up for people that don't want to use Kinect.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see when it comes out. But they say if it sells good, they'll do a RPG, and I'm hoping it sells well enough because I would love to play. They should have done the RPG to begin with.
Yeah, they said it has RPG elements too. I think you, in between stages, you like raise your dragon or something like that. So,
But what I was gonna say something. I forgot what now. Oh, and then people were probably gonna complain that Crimson Dragon might as well just made a Blue Dragon too. So hopefully it's not like that. I mean, Blue Dragon was all right. I mean, but it was very Dragon Questy.
yeah,
So hopefully it's not like that. But yeah.
I traded that to Sega Uranus for I think like one of the Wii Fit games or whatever, Wii Party games, and for Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Oh, pretty good trade. I
You
mean, the
could.
game the game wasn't terrible. Like when I played it, I was all into it because I was like, "Fuck yes, Japanese games." Because
It's the Dragon Ball character designer too,
yeah,
right?
and I always loved. I know a lot of people give him shit that all his characters look the same, and they do all the human characters.
I like them though.
But I like his art style, and I really love his monsters. He does the weirdest looking monsters, and I always love it.
Yeah.
So that's why I like playing stuff he does. So and the next news, Echo the Dolphin and Shinobi 3 might be getting like well, they are probably gonna get the 3DS ports.
Hmm.
And Sega teases Project 275, which is obviously another like girly rhythm game.
So another disappointing reveal from Sega. Ugh.
Well, it's aimed for Japan, that's for sure, not for us.
Yeah, I think we've had that discussion before.
Yeah,
I think people learned their lesson with the last one because no one got excited for this one,
I'm. T-
or at
I'm
least they didn't get,
oh,
you
sorry.
know,
I was gonna say
no
I'm kind of disappointed that like I just don't like that trend from Japan. It's just such a weird trend. I don't understand it.
teasers.
No, not the teasers. The whole idea that they want to have little girls singing. I don't understand it, but whatever.
Hey, it's their country.
I know, but they probably see us and they're like, "These guys and My Little Pony, fucking weird."
I thought you were gonna say they see us and they're like, God, guys liking girls their own age? That's disgusting. They're women.
Ugh, women.
Ugh.
They're so old.
I know. Ugh.
Anyway, yeah. Um,
Here, I'll do the next one. Sega recently announced Hero Bank. It turns out to be the latest project from Nagoshi, and he's just like what you posted up. There's toilet paper advertising the game.
you already know it's gonna be a good game when they give you something to wipe your ass with. It's
Yeah,
like here
right.
you go.
I don't know. I think it looks kind of cool. It's nice to see a new IP, and with Nagoshi behind it, it might turn out to be pretty good.
I'm over here I'm gonna tweet Storm. I'm like, go to the event, bro, and give me some toilet paper and send it over.
Oh, I'd love some. I would love that gift bag. Actually, it
Dude,
looks pretty
I
cool.
I would too. I'm like trying to find a way to talk to Sega Japan to send us a couple.
Oh my God, if we had an in with Sega Japan, we would be set. We'd get so much weird stuff.
I wonder if they even have a community team, dude. Oh my god, I just want that toilet paper. It's so ridiculous.
Mm. Maybe I'll ask. We should ask Sega of America.
We should, well, yeah, we should actually. Actually, it'd be kind
Well,
of weird. Like, yeah, you guys are pretty cool. We're the Japanese team. How to get a hold of these guys?
Aaron Weber will just write the game's name on a piece of toilet paper and send it to us. He's like,
He's like,
"Here's the official toilet paper."
he's like, you just wrote that with a marker.
Yeah.
You put Shimmy 3 though. So what the fuck is this? Um, um,
Heavy Rain. Oh, you want to go to the next
Oh
one?
yeah, I saw the video. I don't know if you saw this one, but Heavy Rain director and Yu Suzuki talk storytelling.
I haven't watched it yet. No, I'm a bad man.
Basically the idea was okay. The video was really weird. Like it started off with Yu Suzuki sitting in a dark corner. Well, okay, he talks for about his games, Heavy Rain and whatever, for like 20 minutes of the interview. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh yeah, I have Yu Suzuki here with me," and he's sitting in a
Yeah.
dark corner. It doesn't make any sense. And
Blech.
then he's like, I'm like, okay, this is already fucked up. Like, I don't like the way this is heading. And he tells him if it's okay if he joins the conversation. And so I guess the guy from Game Informer knows Japanese, so he's talking to Yu Suzuki, and Yu Suzuki's saying that he really likes his game. And but anyway, they're talking about they're basically asking him questions about storytelling and what they were trying to do. Like Yu Suzuki says that he wanted to add a bunch of stuff to make the game as long as possible. So like if people wanted to spend 100 hours in Shenmue, they could. And what's the name saying that he was total opposite. He was more about the experience. And it was pretty interesting, like their philosophies and storytelling.
Hmm.
And it was a pretty good watch. And in the end, he shows him pictures. I guess he took pictures of Beyond Two Souls.
Uh-huh.
Because I guess it was on the showroom floor, and he was taking pictures of everything at E3 he found interesting, like games. So later on, when he got home, he could like research them. So he
Yeah.
found his game apparently interesting. I can see why Yu Suzuki would find it interesting. He like, and the guy from and he talks about how Shenmue actually affected his game, the one game with the serial killer.
Oh, right.
You know how it was all QTEs? He said it was really influenced by Shenmue. That's why he created the game like that. So it's
Did
pretty
they
interesting.
talk about? Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, so it's pretty interesting.
Well, where does Heavy Rain take place? In America
It takes
somewhere?
yeah, it takes place in America. He said that like I remember reading an interview and he said that he's a French developer, and he
Yeah.
said that he came and he saw like, he when he was going through I guess the ghettos or the cities in America, he just noticed how depressing everything was. So he made
Yeah.
a game about it. Like
Because I
set
was no, go on.
yeah, set here. That's it. I was gonna say.
I was gonna say like his from what I've seen of Heavy Rain, it looks like a European's take on America. It does not look like America when you watch the game.
Oh, I know. It's pretty
It's
funny.
it's weird. I mean, I was thinking Yu Suzuki maybe would have been like, yeah, when I made Shenmue, I really nailed the Japanese look in the '80s, but you really fucked up on America, man. It
Yeah,
did
dude.
not look like America. It looked like some French dude's take on the country. It's messed up.
Yeah, it was pretty weird, but the game was actually pretty decent. It had some just not really realistic take, I guess, on it. But
Right.
again, the QTEs on that game is a little extreme though. If you don't like QTEs, do not play that game.
I just remember Sean,
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 Sean, like when he's walking down
Sean.
the
He's
street,
in the mall.
just
Sean.
screaming really loud.
And you push the button to make him say Sean. Sean!
I'm just pressing it as fast as I can.
Sean, 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 Sean.
But yeah, that was that. It's a good video. You should watch it. Well, you could talk about the next one. This is one you posted.
Oh no.
You don't want
What
to
is
talk?
it?
It's
Oh, it's a good one.
yeah.
Not Enough Rings, Sonic parody comic attempting a book release on Kickstarter, and since then there's still about 20 days left, but it has reached the goal, and I believe it has reached the stretch goal. I'll have to check. But Not Enough Rings is a fan comic, but unlike most fan comics, it's not about like Shadow hooking up with Cream the Rabbit. It's more direct, taking place directly in the original Genesis games in a little like 3 or 4 panel format for each act, and then it just kind of pokes fun at all of these things that exist in the game, like glitches that happened or funny things or kind of like
Very
goofy moments that don't really make sense in the real world, and so
yeah.
it's a parody of the games. They were trying to reach 6,500. They reached it. Right now they're at 9,975, and they're
For like a published book, like
yeah, for a published book of all of the strips from Sonic 1 through to Sonic and Knuckles, and or Sonic, yeah, Sonic and Knuckles. So
we need to start a Kickstarter to do that way we could I want to do a book on just like Yuji Naka's socks throughout the years and like
yeah,
have these high resolution pictures of all his socks.
people would probably buy that.
Yeah, dude, it'd be pretty awesome. We'll have like 2,500 word essays on each era and
That'd be great.
how innovative his socks were.
We should put Sega Retro on paperback and sell it as like a
Just
10,000 page book.
just copy and paste it and start putting.
People used to do that, but yeah, so it's a cool venture. One of the things though people were bringing up was, does it infringe on copyright rules? Though I did point out that this is when I was talking to these Sonic Retro guys, that the Sonic the Hedgehog fan film was collecting money from people. And I believe as long as they're not profiting off of it, it's just to pay for the materials and the production of it, then it is legal. Plus, there's the whole, being protected by being a parody. So and I mean, the cover of the book does it say Sonic the Hedgehog? I might be wrong. Yeah, it does say Sonic the Hedgehog, but it says it's a parody comic. So far, Sega hasn't done anything, and I personally don't think they should because it's not hurting anything.
It's not like
It's just
I think there's like okay they're using the characters. Okay, I can see how you can be scummy, but it's not really using them in a negative way. It's not like they have Sonic sucking a penis or anything. It's
right, and
it's it's just something that like for fans that and they created it themselves. It's not like they're just gonna copy and paste Sonic that screenshot and they put a little bit of text on the bottom that has
yeah,
a joke.
it's completely made by them, just featuring the characters, but in parody situations. I guess it's similar to the Shirt Punch T-shirts where
Which I
they're a
don't.
product.
Yeah, but sometimes they get pretty like dude that's copyrighted for sure.
That's true.
Like they did this they did this like GLA shirt where like Mario was like Batman or some shit and
Yeah.
Sonic was just Flash, but they literally traced the Sonic one like one of the renders of him
Hmm.
running and they just
Oh,
painted
that's
it
not good.
red. They just painted it red with like a Flash symbol and I'm like, dude, that come on, that's too ridiculous.
That's not good.
Yeah, but anyway,
So yeah, so I was a backer on that, so I'm looking forward to getting the book in September, and I hope and I think it's going to reach the stretch goal to make it a hardcover. One of the cool things is that the that little placeholder ribbon,
yeah.
they did the red and white one found on the title screen, you know,
Nice.
so
Yeah.
that's a good touch. So
I,
yeah, and yeah,
and that's the last one is oh wait up. Oh no, Sonic Lost World 3DS version has online multiplayer. Wii U doesn't, which
how
I
is that? What is
oh
that?
basically I guess they're gonna have like four verse like I guess racing mode like a versus mode on the 3DS version, and that one's gonna be online. But I
Hmm.
think it just happens to be with the developers. I think Dimps wanted to do online stuff, and
Hmm.
Sonic Team is probably like, "Bruh, probably not waste our time with that." which I'm
Yeah,
okay. I'm okay with because like honestly, Sonic. I don't ever play Sonic, and I'm like, fuck it, let's get into the multiplayer.
yeah, that's true. I mean, even with what was the most recent one? Sonic 4 Episode 2 had online multiplayer. I did that once, and it was amusing, but it definitely wasn't something I come back to.
So it's not that big a deal in my opinion. But anyway, some
No.
people were wondering why it's on the Wii U, and most likely Sonic Team doesn't find it a priority.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather they put their time into making the game for the single player.
And we'll leave it with a little bit of love in the end. Conan O'Brien visits E3 and falls in love with Bayonetta. I think that was pretty cool.
That was funny.
Yeah, I like that. I just don't understand like some of the games they showed there. Like Sony showed a fucking like acid tripping game to Conan
What was
O'Brien.
with that?
Yeah, like I don't understand. Like, hey man, check out the most powerful system ever made. Bam, a 2D game that could be done in the Genesis.
Yeah, and I mean this was during E3 when the Xbox One had such a bad debut and the PlayStation 4 was the big one, and then when you watch the video, they're like the PlayStation 4 guys up in all the all of the hardware. And then he shows this game, which to be fair, it looks like a cool game, but it
No,
definitely
yeah,
looks like it could have been a PlayStation 3 for all I care. It did not look like a PlayStation 4 game.
no, it definitely did, and I think it was kind of trying to show the relationship that they're supporting indies, but like this is natural TV. Like, hey guys, I just got the most like what is it like the most powerful console. Check out this PSN game that looks like you'd be on PS3.
Yeah, and then when they went over to the Xbox booth, the Major Nelson guy, he wasn't really doing that great of a job of selling the
Oh hell
console.
no, dude! I don't
But
understand him.
but
He's terrible.
But to be fair, he showed the games, and it actually looked like a next generation machine. Like he was showing Dead Rising 3 and Rise.
Yeah, like they
So,
didn't even. Well, they did, Sony showed like a PSN title. Like, hey, check it out, PSN title, bro. Or maybe I'm assuming they showed him a bunch of games and they just used the funniest bit. Like
that could be, but
you never knowing that Sony like.
I would have shown all the big name games. I wouldn't have shown any of the little ones in the case that they just went with that.
But regardless of that,
So, but that was funny. I like how he called her Sarah Palin, which is
yeah,
what I think we were calling her.
yeah. I wish they would have him play the game. I think for Nintendo's booth, I think it would have been pretty funny watching him like do the climax and watch her get naked, and he's like, "How do I do that again? That's what I want to do. That's it." You know? Because Conan O'Brien does the perverted character every time he does video game stuff.
Yeah,
So it's pretty cool. And that's actually it for
yeah,
news. So you still want to give your opinions on E3 before we cut it off?
yeah.
All right, go for it.
No, I think I'm good.
Here, I don't want to
I
talk about the E3.
think enough has been said about E3, and so much has changed. So much has changed since then that I don't think whatever opinions I had are probably relevant anymore. So,
That's true.
but yeah, and I'm heading off to California next week, and I'm going to be gone until the following week. So this is the last show, at least for me, for another 2 weeks. That's what I got to say.
He's leaving for the California lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, that's what you do.
Yeah, it's true. No, California sucks, dude. You should stay where you're at. It's too hot over here.
Yeah, I'll only be there for a week.
All right then. I guess we'll see you. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I might do an episode next week if I get a pretty good guest. I
Hmm.
haven't decided on who to ask, but
As long as you don't get someone that I'll be jealous of not being able to talk to.
yeah. All right, I won't then. I'll try to get Yu Suzuki on.
Damn it.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, right. He doesn't speak English, so that would even. Oh,
Well, if
I guess we'll see you maybe next week or the week after.
yeah, if big news hits, then definitely.
So this is George signing off. That's how they say it.
And this is Barry signing off as well.